Hello and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
And I'm Hailey.
Hailey. Hailey is my sister's child, my first love, my darling little baby. But you're not a baby anymore. How old are you now, Hailey?
12.
Oh, did you forget for a second how old
Yeah, I
you
forget.
were?
I forget.
The older you get, the worse that's gonna get. Your memory's just gonna fly right out the window. So hold on to it tight.
Mm.
This is our first kid-friendly episode, I should say. So we're calling it GITM Junior. And there's also something else special about this episode. I don't know if you know, Hailey. I did not mention it to you, but your mom may have.
No, I don't think
This
so.
this episode is special because we're recording it for Black History Month. Hence,
I,
young
I
Ken.
thought that was in February.
It is. We are in January. I'm recording it ahead
Oh,
of time.
okay, okay.
Yeah, because Titi's very busy. So we're just recording it early, but it's going to air during Black History Month. Have you heard of the phrase representation matters?
Yeah, I think so.
What does that mean to you?
Like, I don't know what it means. I just saw it as a category thing on Netflix.
Oh, it's a category on Netflix? Okay, I'm going to explain to
Yeah.
you why that's a wonderful thing. Good job, Netflix. This movie also can be viewed on Netflix. Um, Representation matters. That means that, we love to see people who are like us on the screen. So we are a mixed family. We're Black kids, we're Puerto Rican kids, we got some other stuff in the mix. And Hollywood has had a history of being whitewashed. So do you watch anime?
Sometimes.
Okay, so Dragon Ball is an old anime,
That's,
right?
that's my favorite anime, yeah.
Oh, okay. So then I got you with that one. So, Goku, right?
Yeah.
Anime is you know where anime comes from, and they made a Dragon Ball movie and they cast a white guy. And you see why that's problematic, right? Because Goku's not a white
Yeah.
guy. So that's what that means. When you have a character who is, let's say we have a trans character, we have a Black character, we have an indigenous character, you want to see them played by who they are, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get your scope on scary. So have you seen, this is a claymation movie and this is one of my favorite styles. Have you seen Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Ugh. Oh my God.
It's so good.
It is so good. Have you seen Coraline?
Oh yeah. I watched it at your house.
Oh
It's
yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Have you seen Paranorman?
Ooh, I started that movie, but I never finished it, I don't think.
So did any of these scare you?
Um, I mean, yeah, but not Nightmare Before Christmas, because I was like,
It's like goofy.
yeah. Coraline did scare me. That was ooh. I also watched it when I was like really little, so I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I was like 7 or 8, so obviously that was like terrifying.
Oh yeah, that was
But
like a million years ago. You're so
yeah, yeah,
young.
yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because for me, I'm an adult, obviously. I feel like Coraline is more of a scarier thread than like Nightmare Before Christmas. So I do align with you on that. So then when I started watching Wendell and Wild, I was wondering how you gauged this on the scary scale because I didn't expect it to be the way that it was.
It was like I think it was like in between for me, like between like Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline.
Mm.
It was like in the middle, but like closer to Coraline. Yeah, it kind of scared me a little bit.
You okay? Did you survive?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I was waiting for Wendell and Wild to come out when it was announced. I was very excited about it. Because Jordan Peele is involved in this. Do you know who he is? I'm sure you have not seen his movies.
I don't think so.
Okay, so he did this sketch show called Key and Peele, which is it's an
Oh
adult
yeah.
show, but I'm sure you've heard of Key and Peele.
Yeah.
They're Wendell and Wild.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're Wendell and Wild, and Jordan Peele is a tremendous man. He's a black man, and he has been making waves for a couple of years now with a new twist on horror movies with like predominantly black stories and characters. Your mom and I are going to be covering Nope together, which is another movie that he did, and Kiki Palmer is in it, and he just does a really good job. He's checking that box where it says representation
Oh yeah.
matters. Okay, so let's talk about this movie a little bit. There were a lot of really, I feel like, heavy themes for kids in this movie, and it starts off immediately sad. Were you so
Yeah.
sad?
Yeah.
So Kat was very little. She's always had green hair, which I think is so cool. She's a very cool cat, excuse me for the boomer joke. But
Oh yeah.
she, you know, it starts off sad in this really sad car accident where she loses her parents. And then she gets put into the system, and she's a very angry little girl.
I might be angry too.
Right.
Like
For sure.
like you can't really blame her. She just watched her parents drown to death at like 7.
Right. And on top of that, though, she was in the water, so she could have also
Yeah.
drowned, and that's really scary. So they bring her, first of all, the lady who brings her to the Catholic school, she's a very cool indigenous woman, and
Yeah.
I love I love claymation because all the little details that go into this, and you know stop motion is very very involved.
Yeah.
If you ever
I
get a
know this
chance,
movie took forever.
so long, if you ever get a chance to like look at behind the scenes videos for them doing these stop motion shows, do it, because I don't even think people, without seeing it, like you realize all the tiny little adjustments that have to be made, but just the artistry that goes into making this girl. And so yes, she's angry and she gets sent to this Catholic school. And I love the three little girls who come out to meet her. I only remember Shaban's
Oh
name.
yeah.
Shaban with the little goat.
It's like I see it a lot in movies where like in mostly like high school movies and stuff where like those are like the three girls that meet like the new kid at the beginning are usually like really mean, but like it's like
Yes.
a whole different like it's a whole different thing because they're not trying to be mean, like they're really nice, but like they come across as like a lot. A
Yes,
lot.
especially in contrast with her crankiness. They're very like aggressively positive. And I'm glad you mentioned that because that is generally a trope in like in these adolescent movies where you have the popular girls who are mean. And I feel like in this movie, I was kind of waiting to see if Siobhan was actually a mean girl underneath that because her parents are the bad guys, the
Mhm.
Claxons, right? But she's genuinely very, very nice. And Kat is not having it. And then on top of it, there's not very many kids at this school. You have Raul. What did you think of Raul?
I think he's really cool. He was a really cool character. Um, yeah, and like I don't know, I don't know. It was just like it was cool to see like a character like that in like a kid movie.
Right? That's where that
Yeah.
representation really is important so that kids who are going through any kind of change, or like, I mean, like that really is what growing up is about, going through massive changes, but to be able to see yourself in a movie on a screen, I think that's super important. And I think Raul is an important character because Raul used to be Ramona, and
Yeah.
now he's Raul, a trans boy, and you do see some of the characters struggle with remembering his pronouns. Shaban does apologize for
Yeah,
referring
I
to him
like
as
that.
Ramona.
Yeah, I like that she's trying and that she's not like actually being rude about it. 'Cause
Yes.
it's just like it's hard for people to like when someone goes through like a big change like that, it's hard to like get used to it.
But the fact that she's trying, I think, is important. And the other thing I think is super important about Raul's character is that his mom is immediately in his corner, always
Yeah.
remembers his pronouns, and corrects other people when they misgender him, right? That's a good mom. I do like I feel like they're very strong parents in this movie. Like
Yeah.
Kat's parents are on one side where they're very Kat's parents and Raul's mom, they're very loving, they're very supportive, and then you have Shaban's parents. Um, but the good thing about Shaban is that she shows that even if you have terrible, terrible,
Yeah.
bad, horrible parents, you can still be a good person. It's a choice.
Yeah, I like that she realized what they were doing was bad and didn't wasn't like quiet about it. Like she actually tried to help take him down because she realized
Yes.
that that was like
Okay. So it has these are really great things, but then there is something scary underneath the
yeah,
story that's
like literally
happening.
underneath.
Okay, so in the underworld, there's this big daddy demon who I was very caught off guard by this, who
I
has
did
a
not
fair.
realize he was gonna be that big.
He was
Like when he came
huge.
out, oh my gosh.
Right. And I honestly, I don't know. I have issues like visualizing geographically because if you're thinking about somebody in the underworld, you don't actually think that it's like sitting underneath the dirt, like if you dig
Yeah, like
enough.
right under it.
Yeah, and that's
Like there was
that's
like
what it
one
was.
layer of grass. Imagine you were like digging a hole right there and you just
Yeah.
see this big man under the ground.
Yeah, like, oh, I need to plant my carrots, but if I dig too deep, his toes are gonna pop out. That's weird. So he has a dusty old underworld fare for ghosts on his belly. And he has two sons, Wendell and Wild, who live in his nose. And what they do all day is so random. What they do all day is they put magic hair cream on his hair follicles. Otherwise, he'll go bald.
Yeah. And just as a punishment too. Who
Yeah.
I would hate that.
Just
Like
ground me. Just ground
having
me.
to grow your father's hair for the rest of your life.
Yes. Yeah, it's a
That
horrible
sounds
existence.
awful.
And they're goofy boys. Like all they
Yeah.
want to do is they hate the fair that's on their father's stomach and they want to build a better one. They want to build a dream fair. So there's this nun at the school, okay? And she keeps in her drawer, in her desk drawer, she
A
keeps an
magical
evil
teddy
teddy
bear.
bear called Beelzebub. Beelzebub. Beelzebub? And that's scary.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of Bear's Bub, and I'm not embarrassed of that at all.
That's
Uh,
terrifying.
yes, yeah. So she brings in an octopus for class to show them, and through this interaction with the octopus, Kat thinks it bites her, but really she came too close to Beelzebub, and there's this mark on her hand that looks like a skull mouth and nose, like if you put it up
Yeah.
here. And it's a mark that marks her as a Hell Maiden. That's
Yeah.
terrifying. This is for
That's
kids?
scary.
Yeah. I know I watch a lot of horror movies and my judgment may be skewed, but I feel like even though those things are a little bit scary, I do think for older kids, this is fine. right? Like
Yeah.
you didn't get traumatized from this movie, right? I don't have
No.
children, so you are my guide.
It wasn't like like scary, like, but it was like I was like, whoa.
Yes.
I thought this. I didn't know it was gonna be like that.
No, not at all. And okay, so I also didn't know there was going to be murder involved in this, and the
Yeah,
Claxons murdered the priest. Like they just threw him in the water for him to drown, and I didn't expect him, I didn't expect that. I wasn't expecting that.
yeah.
Like murder is bad. Don't kill people. That's awful. Don't do it. Don't do that. Okay. So, yeah, that happens, and then Wendell and Wild are Kat's personal demons, and she can do a ritual to bring them to the land of the living where they can do their fair since their dad won't let him do it on their belly, right? But the other nun, it turns out she's the old Hell Maiden, and she sees the mark and she's like, don't tell anybody. She really should have sat Kat down and explained to her with the weird
Yeah,
wheelchair guy what was happening.
if that happens to somebody, you finna tell the whole. I would have told the whole school, like,
Period. Period. Like, let's
what's
hold an
happening?
assembly and red alert, there is an emergency
That
going on.
octopus just bit me. Fire that lady.
Right?
Like,
That's dangerous. Like, but to be, I mean, like, they didn't have parents.
yeah,
Shaban did, but
nobody in that show had parents for the most part.
yeah, Raul had one parent. Shaban had two, but they were evil, so like they don't count. And
They
then,
don't count.
it's just a tricky situation, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Her her parents care more about their prison than her.
that is actually true. So Wendell and Wild hijack Cat's dreams and they tell her, you can bring us to the land of the living on this full moon ritual and we'll bring your parents back, even though they can't. But then they figure out that the hair cream will bring the parents back because they brought a really gross tick back to life.
Yeah.
Right? So, but that she needs a witness. So Kat doesn't know how to be a good friend yet. She doesn't know how to be a
Yeah.
good friend to Raul. So she kidnaps
So she just
Raul.
dragged him.
Yep. Steals Beelzebub from the desk and brings these demons into the land of the living. However, the Claxtons have this plan. They want Wendell and Wild. They say that they'll give them and the priest. They bring the priest back and he's like really gross. He doesn't look anything like he
Yeah.
did before. Like he
He doesn't
looks
act anything like he did before. Like he does not care
no.
about that school.
No, he's
Or he
dead
don't care
now.
about them kids.
His priorities are super messed up. So uh they want their voters that were killed to come back to life so that they will vote for them to be able to bring this prison. The thing about this prison is, I don't know, I mean, I don't know what kids know. So the goal of prison isn't just to get criminals off the street. It is to offer them some sort of rehabilitation to be a better person so that when they are released, if they are able to get released, that they're a better member of society and they don't do crimes anymore. Did you know that?
No.
That's the purpose. But they don't care about that. They want to bring in
They just want
troubled
money.
kids, like, yeah, troubled kids like Kat to the school, offer no rehabilitation, and know that they will be criminals to go right into their prison so that they can get money for those prisoners and not rehabilitate them, not care about them, not give them quality food. And that's the plan. And it's pretty evil, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Raul catches wind that they're not going to raise Kat's parents, and Raul does know how to be a good friend. I
Yeah.
think Kat finds herself in an extremely lucky position. So
That's
she,
why he's one of my favorite characters. Cause like even though she wasn't being like the greatest person in him, he still like found a way to help her.
yeah, and that's the kind of friend that you should be, because sometimes your friends go through things where they just don't know how to be good to others or themselves, but
Yes. But I would not raise my friend's parents from the dead because that's
no, absolutely not. Like we're not going to do that. But he does raise Kat's parents for her. And even then, I don't know if you noticed, like Raul gets kidnapped again. He can't stay
Again.
unkidnapped. And Kat's like, okay. And her parents are like, go get him. That's what we do. And she's like, "Ugh,
You
I just,
literally just brought your parents back. You gonna leave him to
yeah."
get like eaten?
Everything ends up being okay. Like the magic cream doesn't last. The dad comes up out of the ground because he discovers that they're missing. It's a whole hot mess. Everybody
Then
learns
he's like,
to go ahead.
and then he's like, "Oh, I'm an awful father."
Yes. Yeah. Because the examples of good parenting here are so loud and so bright. He's like, wow, I should be loving my sons. I should let them build a dream fair on my belly. Their ideas really aren't that bad, you know? Just good boys.
Yeah.
So Shaban comes out, she hears her parents' plan and she tells everybody the truth, and then they go down and protest. And I think my favorite part of this entire movie was when they show how bad the Claxons are. They see Shaban down there, right? And she just
Yeah.
waves to her parents, like, hey.
And then she's like, "Kill!" And then her parents are like, "Kill them!
Yeah,
Kill them!"
they're like, crush
That's
them
your
all.
child.
It's your only baby.
That's
Hello?
you. You really don't care about your kid.
No, like at all.
Like you
So,
finna go to jail, right?
oh,
Like it don't even matter. It don't even matter no more. You kill
no.
your if you kill all them kids, you going to jail.
There is this thing in a lot of movies where insanely rich people who only care about themselves, they need to get what's coming to them. And they just, they
They
just
don't.
don't care. Yeah. So, but in this one, they do get justice. So I love a good happy ending, all wrapped up in a bow. I love that Shaban was a
Yeah.
good person. I love that, even though Kat doesn't get to keep her parents
Yeah,
because
she
those
like
things don't
accepts that.
last.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of the most important things for her growth was when she had to swear allegiance at one point to Wendell and Wild, and it made this fever inside of her. And really the fever was just her. She repressed a lot of her
Yeah.
emotions around losing her parents, so she had to confront them and hug that part of herself that was like damaged, and so that she could, scurry on her healing journey, and she came out a better person.
Yeah. When she like pledged her allegiance and stuff, I thought that was like I didn't realize that was gonna be like an actual thing. I thought they were like joking about that. And
Me
then
too, because they're
I was
goofy.
so confused. Like and like I thought they wasn't serious because like you saw the way they just like came up with that on the spot. Like
Yes, I thought that they were just kidding around, and they just, like didn't want to do what she was saying, and they're like, oh, you have to jump through all these hoops. So when she's like all glowing green eyes and her
green
hands
hands.
flying her around, dragging her places, that was a lot for me. So that's why I feel, there are some genuinely scary moments in this movie. And then how the wheelchair guy, who is, like a demon aficionado, he's got all these demons trapped in jars in the basement of the
Yeah.
school. That's a lot.
It's like what this is supposed to be a Catholic school and you're holding demons down there? Like
Yeah. And it's like he loves it. Like he tried to suck the dad into a jar, even though he's huge and he just got a bunch of hair in there.
and then he was like, "Oh, I think these are your kids. Sorry, man." What? Wait
Sorry,
a minute. Sorry,
you
I've been holding your kids captive. My bad.
Yeah, and the dad had a vulnerable moment where he's like, all my sons just leave me. They just run away from me. They're in these jars, my guy.
I wonder why they're leaving.
Okay, well, I thought it was a really good movie. Nightmare Before Christmas is one
Yeah.
of my favorites. I watch it a lot. I don't watch Coraline as much because I feel like it's really dark, and
It's really creepy for like a children's horror movie.
yes, the other mother
Like
scares the poop out of me. Like
she was in
it's
my nightmares for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the little dolls that leave everywhere. I read the book
Oh my gosh.
um
There's
The
a
book
book?
is, yes, by Neil Gaiman. It's, in my opinion, it's less scary. There's no white bee in the book either. He's only
Oh,
in the movie, yeah. But I would say if you want to read it, like, it gets my clearance. You liked the movie, right?
yeah, it was really good.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I think when what's that dude in the wheelchair's name?
I
Oh
don't
my
know. I
man,
just keep calling him
something
wheelchair guy.
something Manberg, I
Let's just call
think.
him
Something like
Manberg.
that. Yeah. And then when he tried to put the big dude in the jar, that was so funny. And then and
Mhm.
then what's and then the nun had to pull him away.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah. That was a good part. He's just very enthralled by
Yeah.
what he's doing. Um, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite scene, but I do love the Gabby goat. I don't even like goats. I'm scared of goats, but Siobhan's
Oh
little
yeah.
goat and how smart that goat was, and the goat got Siobhan to where everybody else was so that she could tell everybody the truth by taking something that belonged to Cat and
Yeah.
making her chase him. Gabby goat's cute.
If,
That's the only
if
goat.
I was if I was what's her name? Siobhan?
Siobhan.
Yeah. If I saw all them people and
Yeah.
then them demons right there, if my belt led me to that,
I
I
back
would
way
have turned
slowly.
around, moved away. I would have moved to Canada after I saw
Change
that.
my
Or
name.
are they? Where even are they? Because like some of them got British accents, and then some of them sound like what? Where are they at?
It's a good question. There, I don't know. I don't know. It's this made up place called Rust Bank. I don't know where geographically in the US it's supposed to be, but it is somewhere where it snows. Watch Wendell and Wild on Netflix. It was so nice to have you here, Hailey. You can find this
Thank you.
podcast on the interwebs at
Wow.
ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GITM Podcast. And you can find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding. You can't find Hailey on the internet. They're a child. Okay, bye.
Bye.